Hey everybody, and thank you for joining us for 5 Minutes in the Word. Today I have Mr. Gary Hampton with us. Mr. Gary, glad to have you with us.
Good to be here.
You know, I have talked to a lot of kids over the years, and they love to misuse the word love, kind of like I just did. And you know, they'll even say, I love my favorite hamburger, and maybe it's Sonic, maybe it's Backyard Burger, maybe it's McDonald's. But talk to us about love today. What's the Bible say about love?
You know, the beauty of the Bible is that it's written in a language where the people actually had different words for love. You know, sometimes people use the word love and they're really talking about lust.
That's right.
In our current era. But in that era, they would have had a word for that. It was eros, out of which we got our word erotic. And then they had another word, and that's the love of a mother for a child. They had a word for that. They had another word for brotherly love, you know, which is kind of an affectionate kind of a love. And then they even had one word that is the one that God has the most of, and that is it's a devoted love. Doesn't really matter how you treat God. He's going to love you anyway.
Well, is there a place that we could turn today that would just kind of help us see God's love and that would help us kind of see differences? Maybe not all of them, but a couple examples of God's love today.
Sure. Well, the two prominent ones are those last two we mentioned, the affectionate love and the devoted love. Okay, but one day a lawyer came, Luke chapter 10. He came to see Jesus. And when he came to see him, he really was there to trap him.
Right.
I mean, that was his whole point. And so he asked him, what's the greatest commandment of all? Well, he was a lawyer. If anybody should have known, it should have been the lawyer.
Right.
Absolutely. So Jesus says, okay, you're the lawyer, you tell me. Now, not quite those words, but it's pretty close. And the lawyer then says, as we can see, you know, look briefly at Luke 10, verse 27. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. Now, I don't know what the lawyer expected next, but what he got is not what he was looking for.
Yeah, I don't think he really expected what was about to be said to him right here.
Yeah, that's it, because Jesus says, you have answered rightly. Do this, and you will live. And the word do that Jesus uses is a word that literally carries the idea of not just do it today, do it all the time.
Right.
And if you do it all the time, then you're on the money. Well, now the lawyer's in a pickle. You know, because really it looked like he didn't know the answer, when in reality he did know the answer. And so he says, well, who is my neighbor? And it's then that Jesus tells the story that we're all familiar with, the parable of the Good Samaritan. And everybody remembers it. You know, it's the fellow going down the road from Jerusalem to Jericho, and thieves jump out at him, and they basically take everything he had. They leave him beaten to die with no clothes. Well, a priest comes by, pays no attention to him. Levi comes by, he takes a good look, but he don't pay attention to him either. And then finally, this Samaritan comes along, and the Samaritan goes down and he uses his own things to take care of him. He puts oil and wine in his wounds. He bandages him, puts him on his beast of burden, takes him to an inn, cares for him all night, and leaves money and says, please keep taking care of him. And if I owe you any more, when I come back, I'll pay you. And then Jesus puts the point to him, and it's really, really pretty good. You go down to verse 36. So which of these three do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the thieves? And the lawyer answers exactly the way that he should have. He says, he who showed mercy on him. And now, watch, because Jesus says, go and do likewise. And guess what? That do up above, we got it again.
Got it again.
Continuous action. So love means taking care of what people need.
That's right. I think we all can look at this today and we can see, you know, what love means to God. And now love is a much deeper subject. And as we go through this week, we will continue talking about love and what love means in the Word of God. So we thank you for joining us today for 5 Minutes in the Word, and we'll see you all tomorrow for for another 5 minutes in the Word. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.